Hey y'all, welcome back. And today I have 5 super quick, easy, and healthy breakfast ideas. First up, we are going to make some air fried potatoes. This is the easiest recipe you'll ever make. 3 ingredients. Take a can of diced potatoes, drain them, rinse them off, add a little bit of olive oil so it doesn't stick to your air fryer basket and so the seasonings will stick to your potatoes. I used some of this Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse seasoning. It is so good, y'all. If you haven't tried it, you should give it a try. But if not, salt and pepper, whatever kind of seasonings you like. Then you're just going to take your little air fryer tray or basket, whatever you have, and just spread your potatoes out. Just try to get them in one little single layer there. And then if you have time to preheat your air fryer, I would say cook these for about 16 minutes. If you don't have time to preheat it, cook it for about 18. Now, this is also a matter of preference. I like my potatoes a little crispy, so that's why I cook them that long and I cook them on that top rack. If you don't like your potatoes that crispy, you don't have to cook them that long. Just adjust it to whatever it is that you and your family like. So once your air fryer has finished, we just take these potatoes out and that's it, y'all. They're so delicious. And this can, if you're by yourself, you can split this up and you can meal prep with it, make, some for a couple of days. They reheat good. If you want them, if they're a little soggy when you reheat them, pop them back in the air fryer. On this day, I decided to have a little cup of grapes. I made some scrambled eggs. That's cottage cheese you see in my scrambled eggs, just for a little bit of extra protein. You can't taste it, so don't panic. And it makes it super creamy. Next up, we are going to make some egg bites. And I used what I had on hand, some spinach, bacon, onion, tomatoes, and cheese. You can use whatever you want to in here. I wish I would have thought and put a little cottage cheese in there to make it all just a little creamier, but I didn't, so we're going to go with what we had. So however many you're going to make is how many eggs you'll need. I'm going to make 6, so I've got 6 eggs, and I just seasoned them up with some salt, pepper, and of course garlic and onion powder. And then I am chopping up some bacon. Well, I started chopping it up and my knife didn't want to cooperate, so I ripped the rest of it up. And then I washed some spinach and I chopped that up. I probably went a little overboard on that spinach. It was a little much, you'll see in a little bit, but it was okay. It still tasted good, so not a problem. I like onion. I chopped up just a little bit of onion. Chop it up pretty small because these egg bites are like the size of a muffin, so you don't want a humongous chunk of onion in there. Once you get everything chopped up, you just add it all to your bowl. And then I added maybe a quarter cup of cheese in there. And then you just spray your muffin pan and you're going to fill these up. And I had a lot of mixture, I think, from all the humongous amount of spinach that I had in there. So mine do cook over just a little bit. You want to fill them about 3/4 of the way full if you can. And that way they don't puff up because they're going to puff up when you get them in there because of all that egg. So once you get your mixture put in your muffin pan, you're going to pop these in the oven, 350 degrees for about 20-25 minutes, depends on your oven. So just kind of watch them when you can, kind of like anything else you cook. And if you can put a toothpick in and pull it out clean, they're ready because you really don't want a bunch of raw egg. But I just top them with a little bit more cheese because, why not? It's low fat cheese, y'all. You can add extra to the top if you want to. So that's what I did. And they are super simple and easy. You can put olives, you can put bell pepper is really good in there. If you don't have bacon, you can do Canadian bacon, you can do sausage, whatever you have, throw it all in there, pop it in the oven. And then this is what they look like when they come out. They're really, really good, y'all. You can reheat them and you can freeze them. Next up, we're going to do easy yogurt bowl. Again, whatever you want to put. I'm a little tad lactose intolerant now that I've gotten old, so I use a coconut milk yogurt. It's really good. If you haven't tried the So Delicious brand, you need to try that. I think it's coconut milk. Yep, coconut milk. So Get the vanilla. You don't want plain. If you get plain, you're going to want to add something to it, like maybe maple syrup or something to sweeten it up, some honey a little bit. But this is vanilla. So I just put my yogurt in a bowl, and then I add, again, y'all, I'm old, so I gotta put some good stuff in my bowl. I got some Fiber One cereal in there, because who doesn't need some extra fiber? I also put a tablespoon of chia seeds. I like to add some nuts to mine. I had some sliced almonds on hand, so I'm going to add some sliced almonds to mine. And then I am also going to add blueberries to mine. Now you can add whatever kind of fruit you want. Grapes are good, strawberries, kiwis really good. Any kind of cereal you want, any kind of nuts you want. If you don't like chia seeds, don't add those, but they're good for your heart health. So try them if you haven't. They're really good, and it makes everything a little bit creamier. So you just mix these up, put them in the refrigerator, you have them all week. Next up, we're going to do overnight oats. Now, there are 1,000 different ways that you can do overnight oats. This is the way that I do mine. I do Premier Protein because getting a little extra protein is always good. I use the low sugar oatmeal packets. Use whatever flavor you want. These are the maple and brown sugar. I think these just really taste good like this. Now, right here, you're going to see me add a half of a cup of this Premier Protein to each one of these. And if you're making it just regular making it, that's what you add. I forgot that I was putting chia seeds in these. And y'all, if you don't know about chia seeds, they swell. So I ended up thinking about that after I put them together, and I went back and added more. So if you add chia seeds, add a cup of whatever liquid that you're doing. If you're not doing chia seeds, just use a half a cup. Um, this I don't put a whole lot of stuff in mine, but like I said, if you didn't use like the vanilla Premier Protein, if you just use like almond milk or something, then maybe add something that's going to sweeten it up a little bit of honey, maybe some monk fruit, that would be good, or some maple syrup if you use just plain oatmeal. I added some blueberries to mine, and that's it. This is so simple and easy, and y'all, these are so good. When you put them in the refrigerator, if you don't know about overnight oats, mix them up, put them in the fridge, and just let them sit overnight, and they're done the next day. Now, this is what it looks like the next day after it's all done. And like I said, these chia seeds, they soak up a lot of liquid, but they make everything so super creamy. I like these cold. Some people don't like to eat them cold. You can heat them up and make it like a warm oatmeal. And you don't taste the chia seeds, by the way. It's just an added extra something in there. And it does make this super creamy. And this is good with just the blueberries in it. You don't have to really add anything else unless you want to, and then you can. It's good either way. Next up, we're going to do an easy breakfast pizza. Now, this is a recipe that I had gotten when I did Weight Watchers years ago, and it is really good. The flavors just work together. I don't know why they do, but they do. Again, I'm using the So Delicious coconut milk yogurt, but this time you use unsweetened. You don't want to use flavored yogurt for this because we're making a pizza crust with it. So you take a quarter of a cup of all-purpose flour and a quarter of a cup of that whatever yogurt you can use, like Faye, the non-fat Greek yogurt, or whichever kind of non-fat yogurt you like, Great Value, whatever you have. And you just mix this together until it makes a dough. And a lot of times when you do this, it'll be super sticky. So just keep working with it. And if you need to add a little more flour, then just add a little more flour. And then we're going to grease, or not grease, we're going to spray some parchment paper on a cookie sheet. And then I just roll mine out. And I roll it out kind of in an oblong because that's what the recipe told me to do 100 years ago when I first made it. So that's the way we do it. So you just roll it out, Not super, super thin, because like I said, this is a crust, but you also don't want to leave it too thick to where your crust doesn't get done. So you're just going to roll it out until you get it like you want it. And then we're going to add all of our stuff. You're going to add spinach all around the outside because you're kind of trying to make with all your ingredients, you're making a little well because that's where your egg is going to go. So you put your spinach and then some mozzarella cheese. And then this is a little bit of chopped up bacon. And then I added the last of those little tomatoes that I had. And apparently that one tomato didn't want to act right. Then you just put an egg in the middle, little salt and pepper. Put this in the oven at 450 for about 10 to 12 minutes. You let it cook until your dough is done and your egg is as cooked as you want it. I like the middle of my egg a little bit runny. I think it tastes really good on this pizza. If you don't like a runny middle, cook it a little longer. But you can see here, mine is still going to be runny when I cut into it. And y'all, it is so good. The last thing, I just thought I would throw this in here. I do a protein shake every morning. And so what I use is about a cup of unsweetened almond milk. And I just pour that in my little blender cup. And then I add a tablespoon of cocoa powder. And I add a tablespoon of powdered peanut butter. And then you're going to add a scoop of whatever protein powder you use, vanilla for this particular recipe, because it's like a Reese's recipe. So add a tablespoon, add your crushed ice, and then you're going to just blend it up. And y'all, it is really, really delicious. Like I said, I have one of these every morning, and it's so good. Lots of protein. So I hope that you will try some of these recipes, some of these little ideas that I have, and let me know what you think.